Minister, thank you for joining us. All this week on ITV Wales, we've been looking at the impact of COVID on our lives here in Wales, but particularly on our livelihoods. Let's take a look at what some of the interviewees have told us, starting with Angharad, who's lost her job in retail, and her husband, Marcus, whose work is also under threat.
We have no shops open anymore, but it's really hard to keep your mortgage and get it up if you have no work coming in.
We've been advised to seek other income, for example, universal credit. I hope to dear God it doesn't happen, but I'll have to seek other ways of getting income because universal credit alone isn't enough to maintain this house.
Angharad lost her job there. Marcus, work under threat. Do you still stand by that figure? 10%, 1 in 10 people in Wales unemployed, given the figures rising this week?
Well, clearly the extension of the furlough scheme has been crucially important in offering hope to people that would otherwise be facing unemployment. But obviously in Wales, we've got a huge degree of independence, so the decision making that we can make, and we have thrown at the economic crisis a greater degree of financial resource than has been seen elsewhere in the UK.
You can't keep throwing money at it, as you say.
We can't keep investing if we don't have the money, obviously, but we are investing record sums. So we know from previous recessions that young people, disabled people, women, people from black and Asian minority ethnic backgrounds are the most disadvantaged during a recession and as we recover from a recession. And that's why people in those brackets, if you like, those groups of people who are exposed, terribly exposed to the economic impact of coronavirus, will be our priority focus as we go through to the recovery and as we invest in skills and in job creation.
How worried were you by those rising unemployment figures this week?
Well, clearly the rising unemployment figures were predicted. Many experts predicted that unemployment in Wales would rise far quicker than it has done.
Predicted, but no less harmful.
However, we've been able to maintain an unemployment level below the UK average.
But Angharad and Marcus, listening to that on the Llŷn Peninsula, working in the tourism industry there, so key to that part of Wales, which has been hit so hard and is still losing jobs.
So the strategy for the tourism industry and for hospitality has been to secure as many businesses as possible during this difficult period, during first of all the lockdown and more recently through the fire break, to help them hibernate through those challenging periods.
They've been up in arms.
Now, in addition, our strategy has been to make sure that when the recovery comes, they are able to bounce back under no illusion whatsoever about the challenge that people are going to be facing during the winter and during 2021 in staying in work or in getting back into work. And that's why our focus will be on jobs throughout the next 6 months, making sure that we secure as many as we possibly can and create as many as is possible as well.
We're sat here in this beautiful building, a centre for the creative scene here in Llangollen, and that creative sector again hit hard in Wales, doors closed, and so important to the Welsh economy.
It is so important to the Welsh economy, but the decisions that we've made are absolutely the right ones to protect lives. If we don't protect lives, it won't just be loved ones who are gone, it will be livelihoods, businesses, because the pandemic would cut deeper into the economy. And so the decisions that have been made have been right for people's livelihoods and for people's lives. But the arts sector, the culture sector, went into this pandemic in terms of the economic impact first and is suffering longer. And that's why we've introduced funds like the Cultural Recovery Fund and the Freelancer Fund.
There are real endemic problems, structural problems with the Welsh economy, endemic poverty. How do you address that?
The best way out of poverty is through work. The best way to avoid poverty is work. To get into work, you've got to create jobs on the one side. You've got to make sure that people are skilled to get those jobs, to get into employment.
We've got too many low-paid, low-skilled jobs here in Wales.
Absolutely, which is a key part of the structural challenge that we've faced for decades, for 40-plus years, because of deindustrialisation, an earthquake to our economy that occurred.
You've had decades to correct it.
And if we look at what we've done over the last 20 years since devolution, the proportion of people in Wales without qualifications has more than halved. Our skills levels are rising incredibly well. As we went into the pandemic, our productivity rates were rising faster than the UK average. we had a record number of people in work, a record number of businesses, an unemployment level at or below the UK average. Our economy was getting stronger. We had the earthquake of coronavirus, but we are utterly determined to make sure that as we build back better, we recover the position of the economy and we go on with a concerted effort attacking those structural challenges that have been in existence for the past 40 years and which we are overcoming.
As we come to the end of this very challenging year, how hopeful are you for the future of Wales?
We've got the people, we've got the energy, we've got the resource, we've got the ideas. And I think we had the momentum before we went into coronavirus to be a strong and responsible nation, a nation that puts well-being at the forefront of our economic strategy, our policy, in terms of everything that we do. And to drive well-being, we have to have an environment that is more resilient.
You have to have a job.
We have to have an economy that provides work for every household, and we have to make sure that people have the competence to be able to get decent, fair-paying, fair jobs. We are working relentlessly to that end goal of a better well-being level in Wales, and I'm confident that we will be able to deliver it in the months and the years to come.
Minister, thank you very much.
Thank you.